Glenn Hughes, we all know you from Deep Purple,
Of course.
because that's basically where your name was internationally known.
Mm-hmm.
But prior to that, Trapeze, a band that you're
Yes.
at the moment
Very
actually
much in tune with.
are playing with, and I think we even have some footage from a show you did in London recently.
Cool.
How come you reformed Trapeze now out of the blue
Well,
for a while?
while I was while I was in the Betty Ford Center in Palm Springs, California, I found out that my first road manager had passed away from cancer. So when I arrived in England in February of this year, March, Fish was doing a benefit for him at Hammersmith Odeon. I called Fish up and asked Fish if it was possible if I could bring Trapeze to help out, make money for his family. The reception I received with my band Trapeze was so incredible that I decided to do 2 more benefit shows for the family of Andrew Field in the Midlands area of England. And then I went back to Los Angeles, moved to my new house, and then I realized that I enjoyed working so much with Trapeze, an already made vehicle for me, that I would come back and do a few more shows in England. That's why I'm here right now.
Mm. Trapeze never became the massive mega band that
It would have been.
Deep
In
Purple
fact, I've
became.
been listening to in all the archives of material I have from the years gone by, I've been listening to some live footage and tapes that is absolutely phenomenal. And I hope I don't hurt anyone's feelings when I say this, but if I should never have left Trapeze to join Deep Purple, because Trapeze were this far from really cracking America and England.
You did crack the American market.
We did crack. We were doing 10,000 seats a night in some areas, but we weren't. We had a minor hit, you know, and I just left because Deep Purple at the time were extremely popular, and I really did want to get to reach the mass audience, so I left at a very strange spell, but I regret it now, because you know, Trapeze is everything that Glenn Hughes is all about, you know.
You were the guy that I guess Purple had their eyes on, and this was before David Coverdale entered the picture.
They were looking at Glenn for a year. They were looking for me for 1 year, and I said no a couple of times, and then they offered me something that was very special. So I, of course, you know, when a football player gets a transfer, it's the same thing, you know.
Yeah, but were you at the point supposed to be bass player and vocalist?
No, see, Richie has always been a strange one anyway. He wanted a guy that could, after Ian Gillan left, he wanted a guy that could sing a very deep blues, you know, because my voice now, as you know, and everyone knows, that I can sing any octave, but he wanted a rich, deeper tone. So he was looking for a Paul Rodgers person, and David Coverdale fit the bill very well. So we auditioned David, and David got the part and did very well.
Yeah. The interesting thing was that it became 2 lead vocalists, where Ian had
This is
been
one thing
alone.
this is one thing I made very clear when I joined Deep Purple, that I would not be singing the oohs and ahs. I wouldn't just be singing background, because I wouldn't have joined. It was made clear to them that I would have to sing at least a couple of songs, and also split songs with David. And I think it was a very good combination. You know, now people try and copy that, and it doesn't sound.
Yes,
so
because
good.
it turned into a new Deep Purple sound.
Yeah, well, it was, you know, some people thought David and I changed the band, which we did, but you have to change. You can't keep you playing the same music if you get caught in the same bullshit, you know. So you have to grow. Your fans will grow with you.
My feeling is that originally you and David sort of teamed up, and the rest of the guys were on one side, but during the course of time there was a friction between you and David.
A small friction. I think it was because I was singing a little more than David expected me to do. But as I told David, and David understands now, David's doing extremely well. He's got his own career now. That Glenn Hughes isn't just someone that just plays bass. He's primarily a singer.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But then Deep Purple, of course, went on to become something in the vein of the biggest band in the world for a while.
We were very, very popular.
And then a rapid descent came.
That was due to, well, Tommy joined, who I, as you know, loved very dearly.
Tommy Bowden.
Tommy Bowden. He changed the band considerably The guitar work, it was so much more jazz influenced, and so much more Caribbean and reggae and all kinds of weird aspects. Primarily, Deep Purple was a hard rock band. Now it is becoming more of a hybrid fusion. It wasn't the machine that it was. Again, it was growing. I liked Come Taste the Band album very much, but it wasn't to be the Deep Purple of the old Deep Purple. So when Tommy passed away, and
but that was after this.
sorry, yeah, the band broke. I think again it was the attributed to excesses of drinking and drugs and girlfriends. You know, the old story about stupid women and. I don't know.
This was the 70s. This was the
This is a
craziest
long
era
time
in
ago.
rock
It
and
was
roll.
only very early 20s, you know, for me. And I was still growing, and it's a long time ago. I would never, for myself, could never go back to Deep Purple. Deep Purple to me is something so old. It wouldn't be challenging for me to do that, you know.
After Deep Purple, there were rumors that you and Tommy would start a band together.
We were going to do it, but he died. We started to write songs at my house. We started to record songs and some great ideas.
So are there any tapes of these songs lying around
Just
somewhere?
for you and I to listen to, maybe, you know, but nothing for people. It's nothing really. It's just snips.
Yeah, exactly. But then you came out with your first solo record in 1977, an album called Play Me Out,
Yes.
which surprised the hell out of people.
Well, I think what it was, Anders, is that I'd been playing dark music with Purple. It was, you know, I don't mind playing things like Highway Star and Space Truckin' and stuff like that, but I wanted to get back to my soul roots. So when I left Purple, I wanted to just resume to the emotional, spiritual, vocal stylings that Glenn Hughes has. So therefore, the drastic change, you know.
This was an album with fusion, with jazz, with a lot of soul on it, and it sold, of course, nothing. Were you disappointed then? Did you?
Yes, because
did you believe that you were a bigger?
And it's always been a problem for me, because people will have to understand from this point in my career that Glenn Hughes isn't what people conceive him to be. I am not a heavy metal star, a singer. I am not that person. I am a very contemporary singer of great songs. So people should understand that. Don't think that I'm just this hard rock guy, because I'm not that. I'm that and more. You know that, but people should know that, you know, as well.
Exactly. But it disappointed you to the point where we heard nothing of him for years.
This is the story I want to tell you and the people in Sweden, that I got addicted to cocaine.
When was that? When did your
1974. There was a guy that used to follow Deep Purple around on tour, a big cowboy guy, and 10-gallon hat and guns, and he was supplying myself with cocaine, and I'm speaking very openly to the young people in Sweden, because I want them to know the dangers of hard drugs. It's not a glamorization. I'm not here to tell you that it's cute and it's cool, because it's not cool. It took me to the road to hell. I lied to people, I lied to my family, I let my body get big, and I didn't care about myself. I wasn't eating the wrong foods, I was drinking the wrong, I was just, everything I was doing wrong, you know. But it took me 18 years to, 18 years to clean myself up. You know, at Christmas of 1991, I got on my hands and knees and prayed to God that he would help me recover from this horrible nightmare. And the next morning I made a call to the Betty Ford Center and asked them if I could get a bed immediately. And they took me. And when I was in the clinic, they told me that I was the most classic case of the recovering addict they'd seen in a long time. And now it's been 6 months for me without anything at all chemical in my system. Drink, drug, no smoking, no caffeine, no fried foods, no candy, no. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. And if I can help anyone in Sweden, especially the young people who are having a problem dealing with these horrible nightmares that we have to face every day, then they can write to Anders Tegner, and I will reply to them. Because if I can help just one person, it will be wonderful for me.
Fantastic.
My whole life is now revolves around my recovery, and everything else is very secondary. My career is taking off again. I have a hit record with Caleb. I have the John Norum album. I have the Earth, Wind and Fire. I have the George Lynch album I'm going to do. I'm producing Don Dawkins' next record with the vocals, and so Glenn Hughes is very busy. But most important thing in my life is today I am clean and sober, and the Lord God is in my life.
But this is something we've heard over the years.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me
see,
5 years ago that you were clean.
Yes, well, this is, you see, the disease, it's called a disease. It lies to you. It makes you lie to your, I've lied to my family, you know. When you admit to yourself that you are an addict, as Elton John and Eric Clapton and Ozzy and Steven Tyler have done, and go seek professional help, that is the first step. That is the first step, and without that step, you can't do nothing.
So for 18 years, you thought you could control it.
I thought, well, you know, get some coke on the weekend, and you know, get some work next week. Nobody's going to hire anyone that's a drug addict. You know, nobody's going to give me $1 million to do an album while I'm on drugs. You know. But most importantly, I want to live. I want to wake up in the morning, like go outside in Hyde Park and walk. You know, and walk in. I have a beautiful house on the beach now in California. I can actually get up and go in the sea. You know. Mm-hmm. What a fool I was.
I guess the rock business is not the best place in the world to kick the habit in.
But it's not rock business now. You have kids buying crack everywhere. You know, it's killing. People are dying right now as we talk, like on crack. 14, 15-year-old school children are buying drugs in the schoolyard. And if I just want to help the people understand that for me, someone who is extremely talented, to have this taken away from him, and now I've had it given back, I'm not going to go back to that horrible life again, you know.
So you mean Betty Ford really was the only one
Betty
in
Ford,
18 years that
Betty Ford
could rid
Center
yourself
told
of
me
this?
that it was Glenn Hughes that saved his own life. Betty Ford Center have helped me learn how to live an everyday life. I have to go to Cocaine Anonymous meetings.
Yeah, because I'm sure that people has been telling you this for years.
Yes, but Anders,
Glenn, you're hooked.
You don't know. You've never had this problem. You see, this is a problem which stems from when you were born. You are addicted to something. Some people are addicted to gambling, food, drink, drugs. There's always some kind of obsessive, compulsive nature.
You're born an addicted personality.
You are born addicted. So now I have not only have to learn about drugs. It's the drink. I can't drink. I can't eat certain foods. I can't be around people that smoke cigarettes. Whatever keeps me together for today, I do. If you want to drink or smoke a cigarette, you can do that. I can't say you can't do that. If you want to eat some French fries, I can't say you can't eat that because it's your life. I know what I have to do to keep myself together. Mm-hmm.
We're talking now almost 6 months totally sober,
6 months.
Totally cleaned up. How would you compare these 6 months to the 18 years that you were a zombie?
I wouldn't go back. If I was to go back, I'd just die. There's no way Glenn Hughes can go back. God has shown me the good things that can happen. I'm financially stable again. I have a hit record. I'm very happy. I want to start a family. I would never bring a child into this world while I was on drugs. Now I can hopefully have a family and live like a very normal human being. As I say, and I'll say it again, that without Glenn Hughes being clean and sober, there's no you and I talking now. Because you wouldn't be talking to me because there's nothing to say. Only the same old, oh, he's doing it again, you know. But I'm here, as you know, we're good friends, and people know that we're good friends. But I'm happy to come back again to Sweden under different circumstances because John has been, you know, stuck with me through the years. And it's also because I sang really well on his album, and I hope people listen to it.
Throughout this difficult time, people have time and again been giving you chances. I mean, you joined Black Sabbath, you joined Gary Moore,
Yeah.
you did the Phenomena project, and it's all been a fiasco in the end. And I guess due to your
due to probably my controlled substances. It wasn't the fact that I was doing a lot of drugs, it was the fact that I was very lazy and I was more inclined to think about after the show or after the recording. I was more into getting screwed up than... it's weird. Ever since I've been out of the clinic, everything... They did tell me that things would start to happen that would never happened before, and they were right. If I could just show people that are addicted to drugs or alcohol or food or gambling or whatever, that there is a better life at the other side of the curtain. There's a better life, you know.
Mm.
My family, my mother and father, are now so happy that I have now cleaned up, that they can now not worry about the phone ringing and someone saying, well, Glenn is, in hospital, or, because it was a horrible... I put my family through so much crap. And now, I go to church, and it's just a different lifestyle, Anders. And I saw something on Elton John last year, on David Frost, where he was saying that he was having parties in his house, and people would say, let's go see the sunset, and he would say, the drugs are coming, I can't do that. It's exactly the way I was. I was more concerned about sitting by the door, waiting for the door to ring with somebody with drugs, than actually seeing the beautiful sunset.
So what did the drug do for you? I mean, I have never tried cocaine, so I don't really know.
Something happened with the mic. You did something with the mic.
Okay.
You started to blur.
Hört någonting? Blurrar?
Blur? Blur?
Hur låter det nu?
Låter det bra?
Ja, okej.
Så...
Så... Mm.
Joker Larsson.
So tell me, I've never tried cocaine myself,
What
so I wouldn't know
Okay.
what the effect is.
Well,
What is the
you
kick you're after?
You couldn't ask a better person. What it does for you, it gives you a sense of false... It makes you feel that you can do anything, and that you can happy, and you can stay up, and you can play music, and you can have sex all night, and it just makes you feel wonderful. But what it does up here is it creates another person. It makes you forget about the real responsibility of your life. It's a chemical, it's a white powder that controls your every move. You wouldn't understand, you've never been there. It's a thing that takes over your life. It was so embarrassing for me in the last few years that I had to tell people lies, and I would cancel sessions because I was more into getting high. It's embarrassing to talk about, but I have to tell people my story. It keeps me clean and sober.
Mm. But during this time...
I have an awful cold, by the way.
Especially in America, we see commercials every day on TV about people explaining the dangers of cocaine. There's information even in rock circuits that it's not really good to do drugs. Is this something that falls on deaf ears?
If you try crack once, now this is a very intense advertisement. You try crack once, you're addicted to it. It is so intensely addicting that you will be addicted to it. And I promise you that there are people dying right this very second from crack. It's horrifying. I've seen people have seizures in front of my eyes. I've seen people almost die. And I still carried on getting high.
It happens to them, not to me.
Exactly. But on Christmas Day, I got on my hands and knees and prayed to the Lord Jesus Christ. Please help me. Lord Jesus Christ has saved me. And he saves us all. Some of us are unfortunate. So you could say that for 18 years I was in the desert without water, but now I can drink the water of life again.
That's right. Returning to your musical career a bit here, after Play Me Out, the thing we heard then was Hughes Thrall,
a
fantastic,
fine album,
fantastic
a great
record.
album. But once again, Pat and I were in ingesting massive amounts of drugs. So consequently, the album took a year to make, and we went on the road to support it in America. But we were so much into partying and drinking and going out and, you know...
Yeah, because that had
That's
possibilities
probably
to be
one of the finest
massive,
pieces of work I did.
massive project.
I think CBS pulled the plug on that because, you know, as I said before, you know, a record company is not going to give you the promotional dollars, you know, or krona, whatever, to go and throw money away. You have to be a fine-tuned athlete these days to do what you have to do. So when they saw Pat and myself getting screwed up, and by the way, Pat Thrall is also clean and sober, they pulled the plug,
Right.
and they did the right thing.
But throughout this time, you've been given chances time and time again. Why
Yes,
do you
I
think
is.
that is? Why do you think? They keep coming back.
Because I have a wonderful voice, and I happen to be a very nice person, most of the time. But my disease has taken everything away from me, and now I have this chance again to live. I can never go back to that because I've been shown so many wonderful things, and it's all from God.
Does any of these projects that you've been included in during the 80s, does any of them stand out in a particular way?
I like to work with Gary Moore. Gary Moore and I are once again starting to patch things up again. The Black Sabbath album I didn't really enjoy too much, although I sang well on it. Phenomena 1 I enjoyed, the first record. I enjoyed singing that. It just took 3 days to do. And I sang very well. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the Dragnet song a lot. Very much so.
Black Sabbath was also the first tour you did in a long, long time.
Horrifying.
And the first time you were on stage without a bass.
But I wasn't high. What happened was I got into a fight with the production manager. He hit me right here, knocking this bone into my nose, causing a flow of blood in the throat. Consequently forming a dry substance, cutting off my cords. So after 5 shows, it was over. So they had Ray Gillan come in. But in a way, it's good because I wasn't really enjoying it. I can't sing. Glenn Hughes can't sing War Pigs or Paranoid. That's not for me to do. That's for Ozzy to do.